हेलो व्हाट्सअप। तो क्या हाल चाल, आप सभी का स्वागत हमारी इस लाइव स्ट्रीम में। तो आज है हमारा फर्स्ट डे स्ट्रीमिंग का, तो देखते हैं कैसा सिनेरियो रहता है क्रिप्टोज में। वैसे अभी मैंने देखा था कि फॉरेक्स फैक्ट्री में अभी न्यूज बताई थी कि पोवेल की आज मीटिंग है। पता नहीं 10:05 पे फेड चेयर पोवेल स्पीक्स। अभी देखते हैं क्या रिजल्ट है इसका, किस लिए आज मीटिंग होने वाली है, ये प्रॉपर मुझे पता नहीं है, जो जनरली बोल रहा हूँ मैं। पोवेल स्पीक्स, व्हाई? कुछ तो है आज। पोवेल भाई आए हैं तो कुछ ना कुछ करके ही जाएंगे, ऐसे नहीं जाने वाले वो। स्पीच लाइव 10:02 पे स्पीच स्टार्ट होनी थी पोवेल जी की। बीटीसी अभी थोड़े दिन पहले ही रेट कट हुए हैं। उसका रिजल्ट क्या रहता है? अभी जो मार्केट है बीटीसी अभी एक रेंज में फंसी पड़ी है। मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर जो है प्रॉपर बेरिश है, लिक्विडेट हुए हैं बहुत ज्यादा अकाउंट्स, दिख रहा है यहाँ पे। और एक रेंज में फंस चुकी है मार्केट अभी। क्या पता ये पॉवेल की स्पीच के कारण हो सकता है, बट जब पॉवेल आते हैं तो फिर कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा ही देखने को मिलता है। न्यूज बेस्ड ट्रेड ज्यादा लिए जाते हैं इस टाइम पे। पॉवेल पॉवेल कहाँ हो सर? फेड रिजर्व चेयर स्पीक्स इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक।
See Claiborne Pell as the state's 46th United States Senator.
पुरानी स्ट्रीम है क्या ये? एक मिनट चेक कर लेता हूँ मैं थोड़ा सा। लाइव टुडे। और आज अगर किसी ने देखा हो तो भाई कितना बढ़िया मोमेंटम आया है बैंक निफ्टी में। सुबह मैं ट्रेड कर रहा था, एक अच्छा खासा ट्रेड मुझे मिला। और वो भी मेरा ट्रेड जो था एक ट्रैप की तरफ था, जो ट्रैप किया मार्केट ने आज सेलर्स को, उसको उसमें मेरी एंट्री प्लान थी। एसएल बहुत छोटे थे और टारगेट अच्छा खासा आज अचीव हुआ। स्पीच अभी स्टार्ट हो रहे, आए नहीं अभी।
In 1996, the people of Rhode Island elected him to succeed Claiborne Pell as the state's 46th United States Senator. He has worked every day since to help mend the respect of his peers from both sides of the aisle. He is the senior member of the powerful Appropriations Committee, which controls the funding of the United States government, and has worked tirelessly to direct federal funding to the Ocean State. He is one of just 8 United States senators in the history of the United States Senate to graduate from West Point, and has used that knowledge as the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee, where he's played a pivotal role in safeguarding our nation and growing Rhode Island's defense sector. As senior member of the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, he has authored several key pieces of legislation, including historic Wall Street reforms, and has been a nationally recognized leader for his dedication to protecting U.S. consumers. Today, Senator Reid continues to use the lessons he learned growing up in Cranston, which were deepened in the Army and have been tested in the halls of Congress, and stands up and speaks out for hardworking families who are the heart and soul of this country. He is dedicated to the nation's security and ongoing prosperity. Senator, we are grateful for your support for this event, for the work of the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, your advocacy for our members and their businesses, and for being a champion for our state, and putting into practice each and every day the values that you learned at that kitchen table on Pontiac Ave in Cranston. Senator Jack Reed.
Well, thank you very much, Rick, for that extraordinarily kind introduction. I also want to thank Lori White for her great leadership and all the members of the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce. To all my colleagues in government, thank you for joining us here today. I want to particularly shout out to Susan Collins, the president of Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, an extraordinary public servant, and President Mark Palange of the University of Rhode Island. He has really taken a great university and made it even greater. Thank you, Mark. Today, I have a distinct honor. That is to welcome Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve, back to Rhode Island. Along with many of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, I have long appreciated Chairman Powell's decency and steady leadership and commitment to the values that distinguish America from every other country in the world. He has the distinction of having been appointed by a Republican president and reappointed by a Democratic president. He has shown the courage to make tough decisions in an exceptionally challenging economic and political environment. And he has made these decisions based on the data and the facts and good analysis. And that is something increasingly rare these days. It feels like a much different world today than the last time Chair Powell addressed us in 2019. The COVID-19 pandemic brought substantial economic upheaval, including unemployment rates we had not seen for decades. That crisis was followed by a serious bout of inflation. And in fact, every economist, left and right, were predicting not about the coming recession, but how severe it would be. Because of Jerome Powell, there was no recession. Chair Powell deserves credit for navigating those choppy waters. Nevertheless, average Americans are still facing significant economic challenges due to the chaotic policy agenda of the current administration. Tariffs, health care cuts, a massive debt increase, and interventions in the operations of major corporations and universities have all proved disruptive and costly. Real wages for most American workers remain stagnant. We still have not fully tamed inflation. Roughly 36 million Americans are experiencing poverty, and housing is too expensive and in too short a supply everywhere, but particularly here. The policy chaos is extended into a direct assault on the Fed's independence and personal attacks by the president against members of the Fed. But Chair Powell has met these challenges with equanimity and professionalism. He understands that a strong and independent central bank can contribute to sound economic policy in this nation. He understands the impact that monetary policy has on communities and families and businesses. He has somehow managed to stay laser focused on achieving the Fed's dual mandate to achieve maximum employment and stable prices. Chair Powell, thank you for doing your job with honesty, integrity, and humility. I speak for all of us here. There are few examples of patriotic, decent dedication to the nation than Jerome Powell. And thank you for returning to the Providence Chamber during your final few months as Fed Chair. You are more than welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming Chair of the Federal Reserve, Jay Powell.
एग्जाम के लिए भी प्रॉपर रिस्पेक्ट करके
Thank you for your warm reception, and thank you, Senator Reid, for your very kind introduction. It is a pleasure to be back in Rhode Island. The last time I had the opportunity to speak to the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, as Lori mentioned, was in the fall of 2019, actually November 25th, 2019. And I said then, quoting, "If the outlook changes materially, policy will change as well." Well, little did any of us know, just a couple of months later, the COVID-19 pandemic arrived. Both the economy and our policy evolved dramatically in ways that no one could have predicted. Along with actions by Congress, the administration, and the private sector, the Fed's aggressive response helped stave off historically severe downside risks to the economy. The COVID pandemic came on the heels of the painfully slow, decade-long recovery from the global financial crisis. And these two back-to-back world historical crises have left behind scars that will be with us for a long time. In democracies around the world, public